Good morning, everyone. Welcome to What's Up Wednesday. My name is Erin. First off, I just wanted to start off by apologizing for last week. We were having some admin issues with GoToWebinar, and so I was on the phone with them all morning trying to get it figured out, and we finally got it figured out, but What's Up Wednesday was already over at that point. So I just wanted to apologize for any inconvenience that caused any one of you guys. I know it was working on your end, but the admin portion of it, I wasn't able to get logged in, and so it was such a pain. So I apologize again for any inconvenience that caused you guys, and I appreciate you all for being so understanding with that as well. So today we're going to be doing part 2 of 2 weeks ago. We discussed the seller leads website. So I'm going to run through the seller leads website real quick just to give you an kind of a recap. And then I'm going to show you how to create those CMA reports based off of the seller leads website information. So we're going to go through that today. Next week, we're going to be doing lead generation. It's actually going to be Tara who's doing What's Up Wednesday. So I will be out of the office. She will be taking over. And then the following week, due to Thanksgiving, there will be no What's Up Wednesday. So we'll pick up at the end of the month. I believe the last What's Up Wednesday of November will be the 28th. So just keep in mind on the 21st, we will have no What's Up Wednesday, and then on the 28th, we'll continue. On the 28th, I am going to do a new rollout of the personal websites that we have. Those are now available for you. But I'm doing some really cool web design and stuff on some of them, and I want to have some really good samples for you guys. So I'm going to do that at the end of the month. We'll go through the whole personal website section. I'll show you how to use all of it and how it really works. So we're super excited. If you haven't had a chance to dig in, you can go to your personal tab over to the left-hand side. And when you click on personal, you can go to personal websites. And then when you click on theme, you'll see that there's some new templates to choose from now. So she actually has added in 4 new layout options for you. You can go through and really customize them if you want and play around with those. So layouts 15, 16, 17, and 18 are all brand new layouts. So I highly recommend going in there, playing around with those templates and really utilizing them. Her website design builder that she created, oh my goodness, it is so cool, so cool. So I'm really excited to share that with you guys, but we'll do that the week after Thanksgiving. So with that being said, one last announcement I wanted to make. If you have not done so already, be sure to join in on our agent marketing community. I'll share the group through Facebook or through GoToWebinar right now so you can see that. And then also, I'll put it through the chat through GoToWebinar too, so you can view this. But join in on the Facebook group. It's more of a strategy group to where you can talk about what's working, if you need suggestions, things that, you know, anything that you want to talk about. So you guys can bounce ideas off of each other, really share your ideas and what's working, maybe get some opinions and you know, bounce ideas off of things that aren't working and see, you know, all of that. I had posted a question yesterday. As we approach the holidays and things start to slow down, what are some strategies you use to stay busy? So I've actually had a lot of agents come in and ask that question. So that was something that I wanted to post in there and kind of get your opinion. So if you guys have not done so already, be sure to join in on this group. It is a private group specifically for agent marketing customers only. So that way you guys can all bounce ideas off of each other and really get to know each other and, you know, that way. So we have that. And then if you haven't done so already, be sure to like us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of those for updates. And if you're tweeting, be sure to post your properties and then hashtag agent marketing or tag us, and we'll be sure to repost your listings as well. So that way you're getting extra exposure. So we're really trying to get you guys out there, get some more info for you and all of that. So with that being said, let's get started. All right, so I'm going to do a little recap as I had mentioned on the Seller Leads website. So to get to that Seller Leads website, you're going to go over to your personal tab here over to the left-hand side. When you click on the personal tab, you're going to go to personal websites. And then you'll see over to the right-hand side, it says Seller Leads website, and you'll see that we provide you with 3 different URLs. Now with these, it's always going to have your login as the first part of it. And then you'll see it says .marketinganalysis.report, .neighborhood.report, or CMAreport.info. So you can choose any one of these 3 URLs. All 3 URLs are going to be the exact same website. It's just your preference on which URL or domain you want to use. So I personally like the CMA info, CMA report.info. I like it just because it's a little on the shorter side. But when you pull this website up, what's going to happen is consumers can go and they can put their address in here. So to give you an example, I'm just going to type in our address here. I'm going to hit submit. Now it's going to prompt them to input their email. So once they put their email in here, automatically you're going to get a message. You'll get an email or a text message depending on how you have your leads set up. And then once they fill this information out as well, it's going to give you another lead. So it's going to have all of their info. And then once you hit submit, then you'll get that next text. So this would be what it looks like as the consumer is filling it out. And you get that lead generation. So that's a good thing, is you can get that info right away. It's going to have your info down here at the bottom, so it will have all of your info displayed on here with your branding. This is going to be great. So there's a couple questions coming in. How can I use the Seller Leads website? Now, the Seller Leads website is a great tool if you're looking to do Facebook advertising or any social media. Basically, the more places you get this out, the better. The more places you have it, the more lead generation you're going to get. So that's why it's super important to make sure that you have this out there, because this is going to be a great lead generation opportunity for you to be able to utilize. And side note, can we just talk about how pretty this house is? I love this house. So you have this, you can use this. Now, once a consumer fills this information out, you're going to get the lead and it's going to pop into your CRM. So if you go to your leads tab and click on clients, you'll see that that client is going to be added in at the top. Now, because I used my info that I've already been using, it's just my demo info that I use, I'm just going to type in my name here and I'll show you how it pops up when you have that person in the CRM. Let me show you here. Oops, I did that wrong. Sorry. Might help if I pay attention here. Okay, so I'm going to have this filled out here. You'll see that all of my leads. So if I go to, let me find the one here. I thought I used the agent marketing one. Either way, so when you have your consumer fill out the information, it would populate in here. I think it might be, I don't remember which one. So sorry about that. But you can go to your leads tab and you would be able to see. So if you go to your gear icon here in the top, and then you go to my account, if you want to have access to the lead right away, you can go to your lead log. So you'll see here that this lead log was created. It will tell me who or where it came from. So I know that it came from my CMA report. It's going to have the consumer's information, their phone number, and then it's going to have the CMA request info. So you'll see here that they gave me their address in here. It's going to generate 2 different leads for you. So you'll be able to see their address in one, and then the second one that comes through is going to have all of their actual info with their email, their phone number, and any extra info that they type in. So the great thing is this is going to be a good way for you to get that lead gen. Again, Facebook advertising, those are all really good places that you can have that generated. So now the next thing we're going to do, oh, there was a question coming in, where do I find the lead log? If you go to the gear icon in the top left-hand corner, you'll click on the gear or the wheel in the top left here, and then you're going to go to my account, and then you'll see at the top it says lead log. So if you click on the leads log, then it will tell you all of the recent leads, and you can actually filter them however you want as well. So you can generate your little leads based off of your dates or the time frame that you want. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to generate the CMA report for the property that I want to give this to the sellers. So you'll see here, you have to have the property added in order to generate the CMA report. So you can take the information that was generated from that lead and you can add in the property by clicking on the Add New button. Obviously, you're going to have to manually input the information in because this property is not in the MLS. So you can click on Add New. You're going to say add in my own listing, and then you just type in the details. So you need the very minimal information. So it will ask you the property type and then the address. For price, you can just put 0. So if you just want to put a 0 there, that will blank that out for you, but at least you have some sort of field in there filled out. So you'll add in the property. Once the property has been added in, you'll see it populate here on your property tab with all of your listings. The next thing you're going to do to start the CMA report is you're going to go to reports here. So you'll see the little middle icon here. and then you're going to go create CMA report, which is going to be the second option. So you'll click on create CMA. So now once you get into the CMA info, what it's going to do is it's going to ask you for the property information. So your subject property info. So it's going to ask you to make sure that the address is all perfect, the bedroom, bath, square feet, all of that is correct. Once we have all of that, making sure that's good, the map's in the right area, we can go ahead and hit proceed. Now hitting proceed is going to take you into getting your comparative listings. So you'll see that you can do the bedroom bath, so give or take if you want to do bathrooms as well, you can do bed bath, and then you can do your square feet, you can do the age of the property, so if you're okay with doing any age or if you want to just do a little bit. For the maximum search radius, this is something that you kind of want to use to your discretion. Now, if you're in an area that has tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of properties, I would probably recommend doing maybe like up to 5 miles. If you're scattered and you don't really have a lot of homes within the area of where that address is, then you can do higher miles. But if you're in an area where there's a bunch of listings and you choose 50 miles, you're going to have pages and pages and pages of properties. So you can choose to do a smaller radius if you want. 5 miles is always safe, but it's up to you. It's completely up to you on how you want to do that. And then if you have your MLS data source, you can choose that. I choose CRMLS just because that's our local board here. So you can choose your MLS. We do have a full list of MLSs, and if for any reason you do not see your MLS listed there, just let us know. You can call into our support team and find out. Also, if you want to put in specific properties, so it says find properties by MLS number, you can put in those specific MLS numbers to have those populate onto your CMA report. So just make sure that if you are putting in multiple, make sure here it says separate your MLS numbers with comma. So if you're going to put in your MLS numbers and put multiple, just put a comma after it so it does separate it for you. All right, so once we have all of this filled out, we're going to hit generate. It says you have one CMA report requesting pending. So what is going to happen is it's going to actually refresh this every few minutes to make sure we have that generated. So we'll wait just a second on that. The great thing is once this is generated, it's going to populate right here for us. So we'll be able to view that information. We'll see. I'm going to refresh it a couple times here. If it doesn't generate, I do have a saved one here because sometimes it can take a few minutes. We got it right away. So here you'll see now that the properties were generated, or the CMA was generated for this property. We'll see here it says 123 Sandcastle, so it's going to have our subject property info on here. It will tell you the last time it was modified. It's going to tell you the price and then how many properties that match that comp. So you'll see 150 properties within 5 miles is crazy. That's a ton. So what you can do is you can view the report. You can edit, you can generate it as a PDF or just delete it. In this instance, I'm going to edit it because I want to show you how you can edit it if you need to. Now, when you edit it, what it's going to do is it's going to take you back through all of the steps when you were going through and creating it. It says too, a report for this has already, or for this address already exists. Proceeding will, what it's going to do is it's going to override your full CMA report that you've generated. So you can do that, and you can actually, if you want to click on it, you'll see here I clicked, and then it creates a new one and you can start over. So you have that as an option. You can go through and you can edit everything that you have. You can generate it again. So we'll go through this process one more time, and then we'll wait just a second. And the cool thing is too, is it does save your CMAs. So once you create them, it will save them, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a second once we go through modifying it and changing it. All right, one second here. So once we have this refreshed, it looks like it's going to take a second now. But the cool thing is once you go through, you can actually go to your Save CMAs tab, and it will have all of your saved CMA reports that you have, which we may need to do because now this is going to take a couple more minutes. But the cool thing is once you go through and you create all of your CMA reports, it's actually going to generate them and you can save them. So that's super, super cool. Now the view option is one of my favorite features that you can do with this. You can pull up the view option, it's going to populate with all of the properties that show up within those comps. So the great thing is if you want to turn some of these comps off, you can. So you'll see that there's 100, you have 150 active, and you have 100 off market. So say that you have this one here, this comp is great, but it's nowhere equivalent to the property that you have listed. So you can click on this move option. So you'll see it's got a move button, and you can just say that this one is, you know that this property is sold. So you can hide that one, and it's going to move to the sold category. This one, this one you just don't want to populate, so you can do hidden. You can hide it so it doesn't populate on there. This one's listed on there twice, so you can hide this one. So you have a lot of capability to go through and customize all these comps on here, which is so cool. Now, one of the other cool things that I like is you can edit these. So if you wanted to, like with this one here, if you wanted to click on edit and you wanted to do an adjustment price, so say that this has just a killer view. So you're going to do ocean view. And then you can do plus. So if you want to do plus, we'll say 100,000 because the view is just spectacular. And when you hit plus, so now what it's going to do is it's going to adjust the price for us a little bit. So you'll see here, sorry, I think it might refresh here unless I didn't do that right. But when you go to view it, so you have this, I think I did it right. Oh, that's why. So let's go. Let's save. Hopefully I did that right now. There we go. So you'll see now it's got that we adjusted the price 100,000. So we had it at 2,009,995. We added another 100,000, so that bumped up the price for it. So you can go through and you can adjust all of these comps and really customize them to your own. So if you want to adjust some of these and kind of create them to how you need, you can go through and you can do that on here. The other great thing, which I absolutely love, is if you want to add in your own comps, you can click here on this Add New button, and you can add in your own info. So you can put in the MLS number, you can add in the price, you can add in details, upload a file, a photo of the front of the home, and then you can do some listing info, and then it will populate here as one of the comps, which is such a great feature. So you can go through and you can add in your own, you can change them out and do whatever you choose. Now, the other great thing is you can click on the PDF report. What it's going to do is it's going to generate a PDF for you of this actual CMA report that you've gone through and created. Now, you can go through, if you want to, you can turn these pages on and off. So I'm going to keep them all on so you can see exactly what they look like. But if you wanted to, for instance, turn off the comp details and then generate it, it would take that page out for you. So you don't necessarily have to use all of the pages that we go through and we create for you, but that's something you can choose to do if you would like. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Generate PDF, and we're going to go ahead and hit OK. So it's going to take just a second to go through and generate the PDF for us, and then we'll run through the PDF, and I'll show you what that looks like here. And then we'll open it up for questions. So just a second on this. Sorry, guys, just a second here. So once this generates, you'll be able to have this and you can print it off and put it on paper. If you want to, you can save it as a PDF and have it just on your desktop, which I always have one on my desktop, so I can use it as an example, but you can go through and use this. Sorry guys, it's taken a little bit. My computer is being very slow as of lately. So let's see here. All right, so once that's generated, we'll check back on this, but you can go through and you can change this out as often as you want, as little as you need. However you want to go through and customize this, you can go through and choose to do so. So let me go back. I'm going to show you another thing while we have this here. So when you're on your saved CMAs, if you go here, you'll see that there's a PDF option. So we're generating that right now, but you can click on the PDF option to generate that. Or if you want to delete this, you can go through and delete it as well. So those are all the changes. Viewing them is going to allow you to customize the properties, add in your own if you want to, hide, put them as sold status, anything like that. Editing is going to change the address and the info that's actually generated on your PDF, so you have that. And to get to where I was, if you go to your property tab, there's a saved CMA option. So anytime that you generate a CMA, it will always populate here in this section. And I think why this is taking so long, I just realized that we now have 250 properties that are populating on here. So that's probably why it's taking a little bit. But once we get this populated, I'll show you what that looks like so you can see the actual PDF. Again, really, you want to make sure that you don't have 250 properties on there. That was my mistake. So if that does happen, what I would recommend doing is going in and changing your mile radius, because you want to really make sure that you only have a few properties on there. You'll see now it says 1 of 65 pages. So that's a lot of pages to have on here. We don't want that much data. We'll overwhelm the person that we're giving this to. So running through this really, really quick, you'll see that it's got the CMA and then it's got the property information. It's going to have all of your information branded on every single page. Now, the cool thing is, and this is one of my favorite things about the whole CMA report, is it's talking about what a CMA is. It's talking about open houses and how those are going to be important. It's got your contact information on here as the agent. It's talking about how they can set the correct price and some great information. When I first got into this, I had no idea what a CMA report was. So reading through all of this was so awesome, because it really gave me some good info. Now I'm going to scroll through these pages pretty quickly, because this is where we're going to start getting into those 250 properties. But you'll see here it says a map of all the listings, and then it's going to have all of that info on here. So I'm going to skip past all of this. It's going to talk about a summary of the comparable properties. So you'll see it's got the price and then kind of the average pricing. We're going to skip through that. And then it's going to break it down. So you'll see it says active listing details. So then it's going to go through it. Will show a photo, and then it's going to have some of the info on here as well. So again, I'm going to skip through this. We have a lot of pages of this data because it's 250 properties. That was totally my fault for not paying attention. So I'm going to go through this here. Because there's some really cool information I want to show you down at the bottom. All right, so once you get through all of the property details here, finally we got there. So what it's going to do is it's going to give a suggested list price based off of what they want to sell the price for, and kind of the average in their area. So if their home needs to be remodeled, you know, if still, that's great. Mind you, we're in Southern California. But if the home needs to be remodeled, it will give them the average pricing for the remodels. If it needs a little bit of work, if it's average condition, great condition, or excellent condition, it's going to give you the breakdown of this. Again, this is Orange County pricing, so ignore these prices because this is just crazy. But that's kind of the average out here if you're in this area for Laguna Beach and by the beach communities, just so you know. So you have some of this info in here. This is great because then it kind of gives them the spectrum of what they can really get the best value for the home for. The best part of this is getting them ready. So telling them and showing them some different things that they can do for getting ready mentally, unclutter, repair, stage the home, really showing them about that. How they can get their home ready to not only show it, but to put it on the market. So talking about how much they should spend, curb appeal, preparing the interior. And then the open house checklist is key. I love this because a lot of people who are selling their homes may have been in that home for years and they forget some of the things for the open house. So you can give them the checklist, which is so great. This is great because they may not know, oh, okay, I should probably be cautious of what I cooked the night before. So their home doesn't smell funny or anything like that. Getting the pets out of the house, that's always important. And then it talks about going through inspections and getting some different inspection info. The moving checklist is great. I used this when I was moving out of my apartment, which is so great. So it's just things that you always forget to do. You know, there's so much going into it when the consumers have to sell their home and they may be a little forgetful. So providing them with this data is super good. And then it's just telling them the process of how everything helps with the whole process of selling their home. So that's the CMA report kind of in a little nutshell for you. I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions now. So let me pull up the question box here. Sorry, guys. All right. So how can you see what homes have sold or expired, new, etc.? So you might be able to get that information from the MLS, but the MLS, when you select your MLS data source, we're pulling that data from the MLS for you, so it should be pretty accurate information. When you choose your MLS data source, you'll see that we have CRMLS, so we're pulling that data directly for you. So you should have that information on there. You can choose to use that if you choose. How many properties are allowed for the CMA? You can have as many as you want. As you saw, we had 250 properties on ours, so you can choose to do that. Can you remove all of the off market at one time? No, you would have to do it individually, unfortunately. Would the PDF be able to be seen on an iPad, on a phone? Yes, as long as you send it to them via email. I know I view PDFs on my phone and on my iPad all the time, so you can do that. Let me see here. Sorry, I'm just going through here. I was trying to do this while you were walking through. Mine didn't show any solds. What did I do wrong? Kelly, for any reason, I would call into our support team if you didn't find any solds, and they can take a look at it for you. Can we modify any of the pages? Not currently. That is something I know that the programmers are possibly going to be working on in the near future. But as of right now, the pages are as is. Can I do this if I don't have IDX yet? Yes, you can. You do not need to have the IDX functionality in order to use this. You're just using the data source. So you can definitely do that. It would be setting up your properties on automation, kind of that similar thing. Let's see. I saw a lot of active properties, but how do you get the pending and sold properties for 1 mile radius from the last 6 months? That, Jason, would be a support question. I'm not 100% sure, so I can find out for you and get back to you. Or if you want to call into support, they can provide you with that information. Let's see. Once you get the list of comps, how to individually select the ones you want to include. So if you get a long list, again, make sure that you're changing the mile radius. So if you, like for me, for instance, I had 250 properties populate. So what you could do is you could choose to do up to 1 mile instead, and it would lower the properties. You could do it that way. That might be something a little bit easier for you. So that way you don't have a list of 250 properties like I did. Again, if you're in an area where there are a lot of comps and properties, I would recommend changing your mile radius to be a little bit less. Once you have generated the CMA, how do you go back and narrow the search radius? So you would go to your property tab. You're going to go to your saved CMAs. You'll see the view option, or I'm sorry, you'll click on the edit option. When you click on edit, that will take you back into the property information. Once you've gone through, you're going to go ahead and hit proceed, and then you can change the maximum search radius here. So again, for me, I had 250 properties within the 5 miles. So I would probably want to just change it to 1 mile because all of those properties. You can always adjust this as well. So if you want to give or take some of the bathrooms, and maybe if you had it set to 5, maybe bump it down to 1 or 2. You can play around with that too and change some of that search criteria. All right, guys, so we are out of time for questions. Thank you guys so much for attending today. Again, next weekend is going to be lead generation. We're going to show you all of the different lead generation tools. That's going to be with Tara. And then the following week, keep in mind there will be no What's Up Wednesday due to the Thanksgiving holiday coming up. So we'll resume back on the 28th of this month. So you guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you guys so much for attending today. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Have a great Wednesday, and we will see you next week. Thanks, guys.